Quote of the day: "Stay away from those people who try to disparage your ambitions. Small minds will always do that. But great minds will give you a feeling that you can become great too." By Mark Twain. The largest country in the world really has it all: mountains, valleys, frozen lands, and warm sands, and an incredible number of amazing natural destinations. Some of the oldest cities in Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg, still retain their architecture, majestic parks, shopping centers. From striking gilded palaces to vast natural spaces, take a look at our list of the best places to visit in Russia. 15. Kizhi Island. Located in Lake Onega in northwestern Russia, this tiny, -1 kilometer long island has been inhabited since at least the 15th century. The island's most famous site is the Kizhi Pagost, an open-air museum with over 80 ancient wooden structures. The two 18th century churches are especially stunning and have been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is considered one of the most amazing and tallest wooden structures in Europe. The main church is home to 22 silver domes, the tallest one being 37 meters, and a massive wooden altar, as well as 100 icons that decorate its walls. To reach the island, visitors must take a picturesque ferry from the nearby city of Petropavlovsk during summer. Cruises take visitors around the lake before stopping at the island. 14. Dargavs. The tiny settlement of Dargavs, better known as the City of the Dead, it has just over 150 living residents, and at least just as many dead ones. Located near the Georgian border and only reachable after a remote and difficult 1-hour drive, this tiny village is famous for its ancient cemetery. Legend goes, the unusual cemetery, which consists of small stone buildings with serrated roofs sitting on a hill, was created in the 18th century. Once infected, families would move into these homes with food and some personal items and stay there until and after their deaths. The closest major city is Vladivostok, an industrial town with plenty of cultural and historical sites that's also worth a visit. 13. The Taiga Forest. The Russian taiga is a unique ecoregion that sits between the frozen tundra in the north and the more temperate mixed forests in the south. It's a type of boreal forest. Only coniferous trees like pines, spruces, and larches, parts of Alaska and Canada, are covered in taiga, too. But the Russian taiga brings the isolated beauty you won't find anywhere else. The taiga experiences the midnight sun in summer and polar night in winter. The heart of the taiga is north of Irkutsk city, where dog sledding, snowshoeing, and the northern lights are waiting for you. Vladivostok National Park falls within the Russian taiga. It covers over 4,000 square kilometers and is a popular destination. 12. Novosibirsk. Located on the banks of the Ob River, it is the third largest city in Russia, the unofficial capital of Siberia, a place where summers are hot enough to swim. Home to the Novosibirsk Opera and Ballet Theatre, a number of universities, and several museums, the city has much to offer visitors. The Outdoor Museum for Railway Technology is particularly interesting, as it features many diesel and steam locomotives, electric trains, snowplows, and a number of unusual carriages, such as tank cars, hospital and prison cars, and even fire engines. The Novosibirsk Trans-Siberian Railway Station is one of the largest in the country, and it was once at the epicenter of the transport of prisoners to gulags. 11. Anapa. Anapa is located against the Black Sea and a very popular resort destination. It is well known for its sandy beaches, spas, and stunning views from the rocky promontory where Anapa's lighthouse sits. Places worth exploring include the Anapa Archaeological Museum and the single remaining gate of an Ottoman fort that once occupied this area. There's also the archaeological site of Gorgipia, which dates back to the 6th century BCE and was a busy maritime trade port. Both the Suko Valley and the wildlife preserve of Bolshoi Utrish are just minutes away from the city and offer plenty of options to explore nature, swim in clear waters, and take to the trails for some trekking. 10. Vladivostok. Located near the borders with China and North Korea, and just across the ocean from Japan, Vladivostok is Russia's largest port city, a major stop on the Trans-Siberian Railway route. The city was actually off-limits to foreigners during Soviet Union times, and now receives lots of foreign visitors. The city is home to many parks and public spaces, including Sportivnaya Harbor, with its beautiful beach, and the Eagle's Nest viewpoint at the top of a hill. Vladivostok's Russky Bridge is a stunning architectural marvel, and the longest cable-stayed bridge in the world at 1,885 meters. History buffs will appreciate a chance to explore the WWAC-56 submarine, originally built to protect the city against potential attacks from Japan. 9. Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. Located in the Russian Far East, the city is surrounded by volcanoes, including the active, snow-capped Kayakskaya Sopka volcano. It cannot be reached by road. In fact, the only way to get into the city is to fly in. We'll discover an active city with tons of monuments, squares, and churches. The city lies right against Evika Bay, a great place for a waterside stroll and to catch a whale watching tour. Tours to the volcanoes should be at the top of your list. If you visit here, skiing on Krasnaya Sopka mountain, and a visit to the World's Museum of Salmon, the small but unique Volcanaria Museum. Here offers a unique insight into the world of volcanoes and probably your only chance ever to touch lava. 8. Olkhon Island. One of the world's largest lake islands, Olkhon is covered in steep mountains, lush forests, and taiga. The island is in eastern Siberia and has a small permanent population. Tourism has come over to explore places such as the coastal sand dunes and the abandoned Peshanaya village and former Soviet labor camp nearby. This area is also famous for its walking trees, an unusual phenomenon that causes strong winds to uncover tree roots on the beach. There are several semi-urban settlements on the island, with Kuza being the largest, and the one offering homestays for visitors who want to stay over. The village also houses the small and National History Museum of Revyorkin. 7. Peterhof. Peterhof might be home to a university and a major Russian watch manufacturer, but this relatively small city's call to fame is the Peterhof Palace. Originally designed and built in the early 1700s for Tsar Peter the Great, the palace grounds cover an area of almost 4,000 hectares. There are 173 garden fountains and the palace, some, like the Grand Cascade fountains, with special features that activate water jets when people get close. The lower gardens, designed in French formal style, offer marble statues. The palace contains 10 separate museums, which hold art, furniture, and palace items from the 18th century. 6. The Russian Tundra. The tundra is a unique biome that only exists in or near the Arctic Circle. Here, temperatures are so cold that trees can't grow, and only moss, shrubs, and certain types of grasses can get through the winter. In most places, The tundra is synonymous with permafrost, meaning the frozen. In areas where the top layer of ground does melt during summer, marshes and streams will form over the land, leading to beautiful of colorful icy water. The Russian tundra is home to polar bears, seals, grey wolves, and rich birdlife during nesting season. The city of Murmansk, in the Kola Peninsula, not only offers incredible views, but it's also a great place to catch a tour, to see the northern lights. 5. Sochi. A summer beach resort town sitting right on the Black Sea, Sochi offers long stretches of pebble and sand beaches. Stalinist architecture. The longest river in Russia, Mzymta, cuts through Sochi. It's a very popular destination for rafting. The 3,000 square kilometer Caucasian State Nature Biosphere Reserve, just 50 kilometers from Sochi, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Russian tundra is home to polar bears, seals, grey wolves, and home to a number of unique species of flora and fauna. The nearby Rosakuta ski resort is another favorite destination. During winter, the world-class alpine skiing area 2014 Winter Olympic Games were hosted here. 4. Altai. The Altai Mountains in Siberia extend from Russia into China, Kazakhstan, and Mongolia. Traditionally inhabited by different ethnic groups, involved in horse husbandry and forestry, it is a very popular tourist destination for both locals and travelers. Together with a number of natural reserves and lakes, the Altai Mountains are part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's a lot of untouched beauty in Altai, where frozen rivers and snow-capped mountains attract cross-country skiers and other outdoor lovers in winter. The Denisova Cave is particularly significant because of the bone fragments, even prehistoric horses that have been here, some dating back 50,000 years. 3. St. Petersburg. Although smaller than Moscow, St. Petersburg actually has so much to offer, it's often impossible to see it all in one day. Compared to Moscow, St. Petersburg feels more European fine art and exquisite design details mixing in with history around every corner. For a stunning overdose of white and gold colors, visit Moika Palace and the neoclassical 19th century St. Isaac's Cathedral. The Hermitage Museum, perhaps St. Petersburg's most famous tourist attraction, and the second largest art and culture museum in the world, about 25 kilometers outside of St. Petersburg, and more than worth the day trip, is Peterhof Palace. Built in 1700s as a summer residence for Peter the Great. To Moscow. Since most international flights arrive or at least stop in Moscow, it's worth planning your trip, so you at least have a few hours to explore the city. Russia's capital is a magnificent mix of greenery, stunning architecture, and lots of historical reminders of times gone by. Visitors to Moscow usually start exploring in the center, where the Kremlin, Red Square, and the colorful St. Basil's Cathedral are located. The Bolshoi Theater, one of the largest ballet and opera theaters in the world, is also worth a visit if you can get tickets. Moscow has some amazing options worth visiting, including the State Tretyakov Gallery and the Kremlin Army Museum. 1. Lake Baikal. When it comes to breaking records, Lake Baikal is hard to beat. This massive high-altitude rift lake in Siberia is the oldest and deepest lake in the world, reaching a maximum depth of 1,642 meters and an estimated 25 million years of age. Baikal is also the largest freshwater lake in the world. Over 20% of the world's freshwater is in this lake. Although Lake Baikal is considered one of the clearest lakes in the world, it's possible to see up to 40 meters down into the water. In summer, Lake Baikal is a famous destination for kayaking, boat cruises, and island hopping to discover shorelines and beaches. Please help subscribe to our channel and click on the ring for more exploration videos. Thank you.